At the start of Football Manager 2024, you will find Lamine Yamal as part of Barcelona's first team. He's just 16 years old and doesn't currently have any international experience, although in real life he has gone on to represent Spain at the highest level. He's contracted to Barcelona at the start of the game. That contract runs until 2026 and he's on £14,750 per week. Barcelona value the player at £24 to £73 million. Looking at the little pitch there, he's comfortable playing off either wing, can also play through the centre if required, and can also double up as a striker. Now, he is the quintessential Wonderkid on this game. He is by far the highest rated, and looking at his attributes you can probably see why. Even at the age of 16, he has acceleration of 14, agility of 16, natural fitness of 14 and pace of 13. In the mentals, despite his young age, he has determination of 16, flair of 19, off the ball of 15, decisions of 14. In the technicals, dribbling of 15, first touch of 15, passing of 13 and technique of 16. This kid really does have the world at his feet, and FM seems to think he's going to make massive strides in his development. He comes with some player traits which are tries killer balls often, plays 1-2s, tries tricks and runs with the ball often. So he's set up for a stellar career at Barcelona. I don't think we're going to see him move around clubs too much, but let's jump forwards 5 years and see what happens by the time he gets to the age of 21. So we have now jumped forward. It is 2028 and we find a 20-year-old Lamine Yamal is still at Barcelona. At the age of 20, he has now represented Spain 21 times, scoring 15 goals. He's valued by Barcelona at £91 to £274 million and has a contract worth £115,000 that runs until the end of the 2032 season. Looking at the player, his development is staggering. In terms of the physicals, he now has acceleration, agility and natural fitness, all scoring 16 or better, with 17 for acceleration and 20 for agility. In the mentals, determination of 16, flair of 20, off the ball 17, vision of 16, and then in the technicals, dribbling of 17, first touch of 17, technique of 16, finishing of 14 and crossing of 15. No real surprise that the player is really coming on as a footballer. He's very highly thought of at Barcelona and obviously is going to be a world star both in real life and in the game. If we look at his playing time to see how he has managed to develop, so he's flitted between Barcelona's B team and the main team, only really making the breakthrough into the first team properly in the 25-26 season when he played 14 times, scored 3 and assisted 2, but after that he has really started to kick on. In the 26-27 campaign he played 28 games, scored 14, had 4 assists and 3 player of the match awards, got a 7.25 average rating. Then in 27-28 played 37, scored 19, had 3 assists, 4 player of the match and scored a 7.31 average rating. He really has started to explode as a player. The player traits: moves into the channels, tries killer balls often, places shots, plays 1-2s, tries tricks and runs with the ball often. He's now primed to move into his real peak of his development years, as he's just going to keep getting better and better, gaining that first team experience. Let's jump forwards 5 more years and see what happens by the time he hits 25. So we have now jumped forwards. It's 2033 and we find a 25-year-old Lamine Yamal is still at Barcelona. He, at the age of 25, has played 72 times for Spain, scoring 31 goals. Valued at £98 to £294 million, has a contract worth £475,000 per week that runs to the end of the 2036 season. As he's going through the game now, I don't think there is too much more development that will come out of him. There are certain areas of the game, though, that are still picking up a point here or there. Looking at the physicals, acceleration, agility, natural fitness are all still 16 or above. Pace, stamina and balance also score 15. Then in the mentals, you've still got the determination, flair, off the ball and vision. And in the technicals, 16 for crossing, 17 for dribbling, 16 for first touch, 14 still for for finishing, and that's 16 for technique. If we have a look at his playing time to see how he's developing now at Barcelona, so he has become a first team regular and is pretty much playing every game in the season, and is getting better and better in terms of his goal contribution, both scoring goals and assisting. So in 28-29 he would score 21 and assist 4. In 29-30 he would score 20 and assist 4, and then 30-31 pretty much the same, 20 goals, 2 assists. In 31-32, 22 goals and 4 assists, before by far the best season of his career in the 32-33 campaign he would score 30 goals, have 10 assists and 6 player of the match awards, earning him a 7.48 average rating, the highest of his career. So he still might have a bit of developing to do, although he does pretty much look now like he's going to come into the peak of his powers, and maybe that will just be as good as he can get. His media description is that of an elite winger, and no doubt he has turned into one of the best players in the world. The big question is though, what happens in 5 years time? Let's go to 2038 and see what Lamine Yamal looks like once we get there. So we have jumped forwards. It is 2038 and we find a 30-year-old Lamine Yamal is still at Barcelona. Now he has played 130 times for Spain, scoring 74 goals. He's contracted until the end of the 2040 season and earns £475,000 per week, valued by Barcelona at £82 to £245 million. Looking at the player himself now, I think he's at the peak of his powers at the age of 30. Those physicals really do stand out still. Acceleration, agility, balance, natural fitness. In the mentals, determination, flair off the ball and vision. In the technicals, it's about his crossing, dribbling, first touch and technique. I think he's becoming an absolutely fantastic player. Looking at his career stats then, so continues to be a first teamer. He had that season where he scored 30 goals and he hasn't managed to top that season yet, but his goal contributions still continue to be consistent, with the 33-34 campaign scoring 19, then he scored 20, then 25, then 28. Did only get 17 goals in the 37-38 campaign, but he did chip in with 10 assists. So one final push forwards. Let's jump 5 years into the future. Will Lamine Yamal finish his entire career at Barcelona, or will he go for a taste of club football somewhere else? Let's jump forwards and find out. So it's now 2043 and we are looking at Lamine Yamal 20 years into the future. He's 35 years old and still at Barcelona. He has played 177 times for Spain, scoring 89 goals. Now only valued by Barcelona at 1.1 to 3.2 million pounds, but he's still earning £375,000 per week and has a contract that finishes at the end of the 2043 season. Looking at the player, he has had a bit of a decline in terms of some of his stats. In the physicals, he has now had a drop off in the agility, the balance, pace and acceleration, which is understandable for a 35-year-old. In the mentals though, he retains a lot of those green attributes with the anticipation, determination, flair off the ball and vision. And in the technicals, a bit of a drop off in the dribbling, but the first touch, crossing and technique are all standout stats. So we are 20 years into the future. Let's have a look at his career stats. So when we last left him, he had scored 17 goals in a season, and like I said previously, he has been a consistent performer. So after we left him there, he would go on to score 19, 25, 19, 15 and 13 goals in each of the next seasons. He would chip in with more assists. His average rating would not drop below a 7.3 at all across his career, which is fantastic. If we look then at his career stats, he would play in this simulation 629 games, scoring 352 goals, chipping in with 110 assists, 88 player of the match awards, and would finish with a average rating of 7.39 across his career. If we look at some milestones for the player, we're going to have quite a lot of these to go through. So back as far as 2023, he was a La Liga champion with Barcelona, finished third in the Olympic Games with Spain, got his first international cap against Ireland aged 19, scored his first goal against Croatia also at 19. He then won the Nations League with Spain. He won the Nations League. He finished third, in the Nations League in 2033 before he won the World Cup with Spain. UEFA Nations League third place in 2035. UEFA European Championship winners with Spain in 37. 38 FIFA World Cup third place, Nations League winner in 2041, and World Cup runners-up in 2042. Quite strange there that Barcelona haven't seemingly won too much since 2023. Interesting to see what would have happened with Barcelona then, and why they haven't won anything themselves. And once again we find him in the awards section with only really things for Spain. So seasonal best 11s, he won the European Championship Golden Boot, European Championship Best Young Player, he was then involved in seasonal best 11s, and that is pretty much it. He finished third in the 2038 World Cup Best Player. So, he was also named, here in the World Cup Dream Team in 2042, which is interesting because that would have been at the age of 34. So a little bit crazy to see that he hasn't done too much in terms of things that have happened with Barcelona. A lot of these here are records for before the game had started. So yeah, interesting to see what had happened there with his Barcelona career. But obviously playing 628 first team games means that he has had a brilliant career. But what happened to Barcelona, I'm not 100% sure. So he has turned out to be one of the very best Wonderkids I think I have ever seen on the game. And that will come as no surprise. Obviously, it comes with the big hype. It comes being a Barcelona player, and he also comes straight into the game ready to go, and he's one of those players that you can just plug and play, and he's fantastic for 20 entire years. Right then, if you're still with me at this point of the video, firstly, a big thank you. Secondly, if you could hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, I really would appreciate it. Hitting that 3,000 subscriber milestone is a really big achievement, and I cannot thank you all enough for coming and interacting with the channel. Really, really am thankful to hit that number. Before you go, don't forget there's other things on the channel. Hints, tips, tutorials, let's plays, Wonderkids. A little bit of something for everybody on the channel. But for this one, I'm going to leave it there. Big thank you for watching. See you on another video very soon.